Configuration management has traditionally been a manual task. In physical or virtual provisioning, configuration tasks can be troublesome if they are non-automated. Developers need servers in which to develop, test, and deploy their software. Configuration management usually falls under the ops personnel of an organization. Traditionally, it is their job to create and maintain the infrastructure in which the organization conducts its business. Configuration management involves both hardware and software. Often the two are incompatible with each other. The increasing complexity of applications has made configuration management more troublesome. Complex applications can be buggy or not work at all on the machines that they were not developed on. Configuration management has become more automated with DevOps. Manual steps have been identified and turned into configurable, repeatable processes. All phases of the SDLC have potential configuration problems. Software applications are traditionally passed and propagated through different software environments. Applications are often developed and tested on different platforms. Applications are often written in languages that have many external dependencies. Machine architecture and operating systems may also be different. Varying configuration make bugs hard to track. Applications can exhibit very different behavior on different machines. Testing configuration can be more complex than testing the application itself. Varying configuration leads to code and testing instability. Configuration issues lead to "it works on my machine" syndrome, effectively telling operations that badly acting applications are not the problem of developers. Operating system management is also a configuration issue. Many organizations run different operating systems on their hardware. Applications may be developed on a Windows desktop and deployed on a Linux server. This can further make an application tough to test. Bugs may be related to the server's operating system and not the application. Even servers from the same OS may have different versions or updates. Windows is famous for small idiosyncrasies between versions and patches. Configuration management on Linux systems can be especially finicky. Different distributions have different behavior. Deployment issues grow exponentially as the number of deployment servers grows. Larger networks create larger problems. Applications have become more dependent on shared pieces of code. Application development is more about coding small applications in multiple languages. Gone are the days of fully contained languages. Most applications use shared resources. Java and .NET applications rely on shared resources, jars and assemblies. These shared resources can vary in functionality and may even be buggy. Versioning becomes very important. Inconsistencies in plugins can also cause configuration issues. The same plugin may be available from different vendors and behave differently. Managing plugins, shared code, and other dependencies have become untenable. DevOps configuration management attempts to fix this. DevOps has processes and tools for automated configuration management. These tools standardize the configuration process, making it predictable and less error-prone. Puppet and Chef are DevOps tools that automate configuration management. Both are considered competing products, and each has its own features and challenges. Automated configuration tools are used to standardize the configurations of thousands of machines. In DevOps, there are no manual configuration processes. DevOps has automated and simplified configuration tasks, and since configuration scripts are code, DevOps also allows configuration management to be managed like software. In this demo, I'm going to show you how you can use your backend databases as data sources for any kind of DevOps tools. Now, when you're using DevOps tools, you're going to use all kinds of databases, and these databases can be anywhere. You're going to use cloud databases such as Cassandra or Redis, or you're going to use enterprise databases, traditional legacy systems such as Oracle, SQL Server, DB2, or Informix. It really runs the gamut of what kind of databases you're actually going to use. Now, when you use legacy databases such as Oracle, SQL Server, or DB2, there's a variety of different ways that you can actually connect to them from your DevOps tools. What I'm going to show you is how you can use ODBC on the server to actually create a data source so you can connect your DevOps tools to that database. Now, I'm in Windows Server. I'm going to navigate down to Apps. Navigate to the right to PC Settings. From here, I'll select the control panel. And this should open up my control panel. I'll navigate to System and Security. From here, I'll navigate down to Administrative Tools. And on your right-hand side, you should see two icons for creating ODBC data sources. Now you're going to create either 32-bit or a 64-bit data source depending on the version of the database that you have. A 64-bit database will require a 64-bit ODBC source, and a 32-bit database would require a 32-bit data source. So I'm going to click on 32-bit. This will open up the ODBC Data Source Administrator window, where you get to see all your existing data sources for either a user or for all users. I'm going to click on System DSN. And as you see here, I don't have any data sources actually configured. So to do that, I would click on Add. And in this list, you're going to see all of the ODBC data sources that are installed on this local machine. Now the list is going to differ from machine to machine because each machine may have different ODBC data sources or ODBC drivers actually installed on them. So if you don't see your driver here for the database that you want to use, for example, if we're using Informex or DB2, we don't see an ODBC data source for that, you can go to that vendor website and download one. They're usually free and they're usually very, very easy to install. So here we got data sources for two large legacy database management systems where we have an ODBC data source for Oracle and an ODB data source for SQL Server. Now to set this up, you simply would give it a double click. And I'm not going to go over each specific step here because they're going to be different depending on the database management system that you're using. But most of them you put in a name. Now I'm going to put in DevOps example. And for the description, I might do the same. And each of the installs have a place where you specify which server or which database are you going to connect to. Now again, this is going to be different depending on the database you're using. So I'll skip that step because it's going to be very dependent on the specific driver. But anyway, once you set up your ODBC data source, you can connect to that ODBC data source from your DevOps tool.